What is up, guys? It is John, and I'm here with my partner, co-host Zach, unfortunate Tennessee fan. And we're supposed to go live. And our producer, Sean, you know who you are.
Doesn't know what he's doing.
Dropped the ball. And here we are, another recorded episode. This will be the last one, hopefully. Hopefully we'll be live from this point on when it comes to these shows. Anyways, without further ado, let's talk a little sports. It's game week. It's game week. You excited?
More than I could ever tell you.
I know, dude. I don't know why, but this is like, I don't know about being a Tennessee fan, but being a Kentucky fan, it's one of the most anticipated seasons I can remember. I mean, it's just, we haven't went into a season with so much anticipation of a great year.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, we know we're good. You know, we know it can go bad, too. I mean, a lot of people are saying 10-2, 9-3, 11-1. You know, a lot of those big numbers are being thrown out, but it could easily be, 7-5 or 8-4. But being a Kentucky fan, 10 years ago, you'd give anything to have 7-5, 8-4. I mean, honestly. I mean, even a Tennessee fan.
Trust me, I know. That was last year. We were thankful to have that.
So, with that being said, this is one of the most hyped and exciting years of football I can ever remember since probably the late 90s when Tim Couch was the quarterback at Kentucky. Yeah.
Did you see where Tim Couch, and I only thought about this because we're friends.
I know what you're going to say.
Where he donated money towards the victims in all the floods.
Yeah.
I would never have known anything because I don't know anything about Kentucky legacy. But I saw his name come up on the screen, and I was like, I need to ask John about that.
Yeah. So, first of all, about the floods, do you know much about it?
No.
I'm sure.
I don't watch anything.
So, one of the FEMA guys was talking. Just to keep it short, I don't want to do the whole show talking about that. I could. He said he's only ever seen one thing like that in his life, and it was Katrina.
Okay.
There's towns and communities that are gone. There's still people missing. There's not a tree in eastern Kentucky in those areas without something wrapped around it.
Yeah.
One man disappeared, and they found him over 30 miles away. It was bad. People don't realize how bad it really is. But yeah, Tim Couch did that. I mean, KSR, a show I listen to a lot, they raised, I want to say, a couple $100,000 in relief funds. The Kentucky basketball team raised like a couple $1 million. So a lot of good's being done, but there's a lot to be done to rebuild up there. Anyways, back to football.
Yep.
Man, so what's everything like as a Tennessee fan right now?
I'm excited. I mean, we have waited for this and waited for this and waited for this, and Tennessee fans everywhere have felt the same feeling to an extent for the past 15 years. Every year we go into a season with a little excitement and a lot of, oh gosh, what if and what if and what if and what if, and I may eat crow later, but it feels like this is one of those years where I'm not really saying, well, what if this guy comes along? It's, well, what if this guy does what he did last year? Right?
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker, Cedric Tillman. There are a few that we want to see come along. Brew McCoy was deemed eligible. He's somebody I think will help Tennessee greatly. They say Jabari Small, our running back, has put on a lot of weight.
I've actually heard talk about him, like just in general.
Yeah, I mean,
people talking about Small is like going to be a breakout year for him.
Yeah, and the past couple of weeks, we haven't been able to get on here and talk because we've had some things come up, but there's been a lot of stuff going on. We got Lynn J. Dixon out of the transfer portal, and 19 days later he's gone.
Oh, so he came and went.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was here for 19 days. I don't know anybody within the program, so I can only tell you what I hear.
Yeah, same here.
What I hear is that when he would do drills, he would go half speed.
Okay.
Jabari Small and Jalen Wright and the freshman running backs are all going as hard as they can, and he's walking through it like, oh, I've got this.
So it sounds like somebody that you kind of maybe a little toxic for the program.
Possibly.
Maybe somebody you don't really want.
Yeah, and I know everybody, it'll be in the comments section later. You say, well, that's Tennessee fans. They don't want him, because that's not true. We would have loved to have him. But if he's somebody that's not going to show up and put in 100% effort, do you want him?
No, I don't want him in Kentucky if he's not going to give the effort.
I don't know where he goes from here.
Maybe he'll, wherever he goes, he'll feel the need to put in the effort and be the best he can be. But
can he even go anywhere?
I don't know how that really works.
I don't know how the deadline works anymore.
It's changed so much, and guys, we're fans. We're not experts. We're not professionals by any stretch, obviously. But I'm not 100% sure. I know you can transfer. Was it once per year, but I'm not even sure. Maybe we should do some research for it.
There was so much talk about it being unlimited, like just a few weeks ago, where you just transfer every year if you want.
Maybe that's it.
So I don't know. I don't know where he goes. I don't know if he can go anywhere. But I feel like not even just because it was Tennessee, but because you had a chance with a program that is clearly on the rise. Like, man, I'm not going to sit here and say there now. But I'm going to say on the rise.
Yeah, it's a fair statement.
The doors were open. You were welcomed with open arms, regardless of what your situation was and anything that anybody said before. They took a chance on you. You were here for 19 days and either asked to leave by the staff or you weren't really feeling it and now you're gone. However that goes, however it went, doesn't matter. I feel like that he's going to regret that. I think it's going to look poorly on him. Yeah,
that's true. But if it says anything positive, it's, maybe there is some players that just don't click in certain programs. Maybe they don't click with certain coaches. And maybe there is a place he can go that is better. And, if there's any silver lining, I guess, to look into it, that would be it.
Sure.
But, man, I'm telling you, so Thursday – is Tennessee's kickoff. You're playing Ball State. The Cardinals. Mm-hmm. They D1, D2?
I don't know.
They're D1.
I don't know how that's broken up. They're not SEC.
No, they're not SEC. So you should win that game. Any nerves? Any worries about?
No worries at all. I mean, the only worry I can come up with, and even that's a stretch, is let's not get anybody hurt.
True.
Let's not get anybody hurt this game. Go out there, ball
should
out.
Coast.
Yeah, coast, but, put some points on the board, get everybody excited, get this well-oiled machine running again. Let's have a better start this season than what we did last season, because that slow start last season ultimately could have been the difference between the 7-6 record that we had and possibly a 9-win season.
That's true, because you had a couple games there that was.
Yeah, it came down to the wire. Ole Miss came right down to the very last wire. I mean, your slow start where you try to figure out where your starting QB needed to be hindered you from possibly another couple of wins. So let's start out better this year. Put up some points on Ball State. I'm not worried about losing. I don't think we're going to have another Georgia State, BYU incident. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I don't think Josh Heupel will allow that. I think he'd sooner put the pads on and go in himself than watch it happen.
He's a little out of shape to be putting the pads on, though. I mean, I can't say nothing. I'm chubby and out of shape too.
He'll be fine.
But you wouldn't. I don't ever think he was a quarterback.
By looking at him, no. But you know what?
But he wasn't a Heisman, but he's a national championship quarterback.
Yeah.
So on a pretty darn good Oklahoma team.
You get old and you get big.
That's what
you
happens.
marry a woman that can cook.
I know.
I know your wife can cook.
You've had my wife's cooking.
I've had cooking over here. I know how it is.
Oh Lord.
My wife cooks.
Yeah.
Look at me.
But no, I mean, is there an instance where obviously Tennessee's favored heavily to win?
Yeah.
Is there an instance where they win, but you got a level of disappointment or concern?
I would say if we don't win by at least 2 touchdowns, I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
But I can't believe I'm going to do a Butchism here. You don't apologize for wins, right?
No.
A win is a win is a win is a win, and on your record, that's what it's going to show as a win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason to believe that. I think the point spread right now is like Tennessee by 30.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's definitely better than Kentucky's.
So, I mean, I think did I hear that Ball State was like the worst team in their conference last year or something? It shouldn't be close.
It shouldn't.
But I'll understand if you see players like Brew McCoy, who's just been deemed eligible as of this past weekend, if he makes some mistakes, guys knocking the rust off. That's a normal part of any sport, of anything. If you take time off from something, then you try and jump back into it, you're gonna have some growing pains. You're gonna have to knock the rust off. That's normal. I'm not worried about like a lot of penalties or missed assignments right off. But hopefully by the end of the game, some of the missed assignments and things should clean up.
You should see it's. I mean, it's always been traditional that first game of the season's kind of a warm up, a prelude. Sure. Like it's more of a practice scrimmage type of thing, and it always has been. I mean, but any more recent years, there's teams scheduling big primetime games week one. But with Kentucky, it's Miami of Ohio, and I guess the point spread 17. It was higher. It was 21, but Miami of Ohio is predicted to win their division in their conference. I'm not so much worried about that game. I think Kentucky's going to coast pretty good. I mean, there's probably you're going to see some, like you said, some jitters, some early season hiccups, things like that. But I tell you, the real game I'm worried about is week 3, and that is Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Because Northern Illinois is predicted to be the best team in the other division in the MAC. And they predicted to win the MAC. Coming off that game at Florida. Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know what Florida's going to be.
Yeah.
I hope Florida stinks and Kentucky goes in and rolls. But it is an early season game in the swamp. We all know how hard that is to win, no matter how good or bad Florida is.
Sure.
It's hard to go to swamp and win, especially early in a season like that. So I think Kentucky's going to win that game. And I worry about them going to Florida, winning a dramatic game, an emotional game, and then coming back and sleeping against the best team in the MAC.
Yeah.
Which is Northern Illinois. And they're a good football team. I mean, they're a team that can score. They're a proven team. Year in and year out, they're a pretty good football team. So that's the one I kind of worry about is them going to sleep. They should beat them, but that's one you worry about a little bit.
Outside looking in, I'm not – if I try and put my Kentucky shoes on for you, I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
But here's what I need from you, John.
What's that?
I need you to beat Florida.
Yeah. I need me to beat Florida, too.
I need you to
Kentucky
set the tone for Billy Napier and Florida Nation. Right, week 2, I need you to just go ahead and let them know.
So you know what I think?
What's that?
My honest opinion, I think Kentucky's going to beat the shit out of Florida.
I'd love to
I think they're going to go into Gainesville and win by 30.
I would love
I really believe that. I mean, AR-15, Anthony Richardson's a good quarterback.
Maybe.
But I just don't know, man. There's too many unknowns with Florida. I mean, they could come in and be a great team, but I just don't see it.
I don't see it.
And, again, I might be proven wrong, but I think Kentucky, and, yeah, I'm a homer a little bit, but I really think that is a statement game for Kentucky. Kentucky knows they're good this year. They know they have to win that game to have a chance at the East. They know they're going to go in that game more focused. I mean, they're going to warm up against Miami, Ohio. They're going to win 42 to whatever, nothing. Mm-hmm. They're going to go to Florida, and it's going to be like the LSU game last year.
Yeah,
they're just going to kick their ass.
So I agree with you. I'm not sure if it'll be by 30. I'd love to see 30.
I mean, that might be a little bit of optimism.
Listen, if you all can beat them by 30, I know Tennessee can.
Yeah, I mean,
because Tennessee's got a high-powered offense.
Honestly, if Kentucky comes out with a W, I'm going to be thrilled.
Sure.
Because it's Florida in the swamp.
Here's Florida's issue. Week 1, they play Utah, which is ranked
they're going to get
number 7 in the nation.
They're going to get killed in that game.
They may. I mean, we'll know pretty early on in the Utah game what Florida's really got.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could see that Utah is vastly overhyped. I'm not big on Utah or anything, but they say Utah's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7 in the nation last time I looked. So Florida's got it tough. Utah first, then Kentucky. I mean, I don't see breathing room.
No, and it's not.
Team.
It's not like it's Kentucky 10 years ago when it's like, okay, well that's a relaxed game.
How many years in the past 5 have you beat Florida?
We beat them 2 of the last 4.
2 of the last 4.
And then it's been the last 5-6 years. It's been close.
Yeah.
It's not Florida's. Exception of 1 year, Florida won pretty handily. That was the year we didn't have a quarterback when
Wide
Lynn Bowden
receiver.
took over.
Yeah.
And that was before Lynn Bowden really took over. That was when Sawyer Smith, our third-string quarterback, was still in.
Okay.
So, like, we were working with a third-string quarterback, a team that really didn't have a good quarterback to begin with.
Yeah.
Had to resort to, which, I mean, I will say right now, what Lynn Bowden did that season is historic.
Sure.
And I don't know if anybody will ever duplicate that again.
Sure.
But, yeah, I'm excited for the Florida game. I want to see Kentucky handle business this weekend. And then you talk about the hype for that Florida game, man. It's going to be something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Florida's already got it in their heads that Kentucky is not a team they're going to walk in and beat. And if everything that we are hearing about Florida is true here in Knoxville, players would rather leave Florida and know they have to sit out a year of eligibility than play for Billy Napier.
That's pretty bad if that's real. If those stories are true, because I'm hearing it through the Kentucky stuff too. The media, Kentucky media, is that they're going to stink.
Yeah.
Like Florida's going to. Them and South Carolina. I mean, South Carolina might be okay, but Florida's going to be bad this year.
Yeah,
and that's the
I think
consensus. Everybody thinks Florida's going to be bad.
The closer we get, though, the more everyone starts to taper that. Like, oh, well, maybe. Because we've got PTSD with Florida here. Because it doesn't matter how good we are and how bad they are. Florida finds a way to come here and win, and we make a backup QB look like a Heisman candidate. So the closer we've gotten, everybody, like, on the radio and stuff is like, oh, I don't know. Florida could be better than we think. No, come on. Don't ruin this for me now. I've listened to you all since Christmas. Florida's down. Let's take care of it. And I'm not even worried. I'm excited for the Florida game. Every year it's right around my birthday.
Is it here in Knoxville?
It's here in Knoxville.
Oh, we might have to go to that one.
The 24th, I believe. I'll be on vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I leave for vacation that day. Otherwise, I told my wife, I said, look, I kind of would like to go to this game. I'm going to see if John will go. And she's like, we're going on vacation. You can't go to the game.
Well, we'll have to pick another game to go to.
If you see me in a big van with my checkerboard overalls on, mind your business.
Hey, we'll cohorse back and forth about it because I'm pulling for y'all on that one. As I tell people, I'm a Kentucky fan, so inherently we hate Tennessee. Because it's a border rival.
Sure.
Name of the show. I hope Tennessee loses every game.
Ouch.
Now, well, here's the one kicker. I do hope they win for your sake.
Yeah, I hope Kentucky wins for your sake.
You're my friend, and I do at that point. Separated from that, I hope they lose every game. Unless
I bought you a birthday present.
I know, and it's an awesome birthday present. No, but seriously, like I do, because you are my friend, and I know the passion you have as a fan is equal to my passion for my team, so I understand that. And for your sake, I hope they're successful, except for playing Kentucky. All bets are off then. But any other game, and now if they're playing Louisville, or I will say this, usually in the SEC teams playing in the playoff, I'll probably pull for them to win.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, the SEC's a family.
Yeah.
So when one of the family makes it somewhere, you kind of hope they win to bring it home to the Southeast.
I think the same way. And I've been told I'm stupid for that, but
Same.
I think the same way. If Alabama's playing Ohio State, I'm going to go.
I am not going to cheer for Ohio State over Alabama. No,
not going to happen.
Because it's the SEC. Because we know we got to play, you got to play Alabama every year.
Yeah.
Thank God Kentucky don't.
Yeah.
But you have to play Alabama every year. So you see them win national title, it's like, all right, you might have kicked their ass, but
I'm going to make an exception to that rule, though. If Mississippi State if Mississippi State has to play Ohio State, I'm immediately Buckeye Nation.
I think I'd wear a Buckeye shirt, man.
I've got a friend she's an Ohio State fan. I'm pretty sure I could borrow a shirt from her, and that's how we'll do it. Because you won't catch me cheering for Mike Leach.
So if we ever get to see Mike Leach play, which I don't think Mississippi State is ever going to be good enough for them to have to even play him.
And I honestly, I think he's probably within 3 years of being on his way out. I think he's not proven enough, and
he's got one season under his belt.
God, I don't know. Has it only been one?
It feels like it's been an eternity.
I know. It feels like he's been there forever.
he's just always around. Like whether it's been there or assistant somewhere, Texas Tech, what was it, Washington State or Washington?
One of the Washington
one of the Washington teams that they always say is going to be good, but they never are.
Yeah. Well, you know our friend Zach Berg, right?
Yeah.
He loves Mike Leach. So this past weekend, I was over at his house. We're doing fantasy football. I've never done fantasy football, so I'm going to be terrible at this. But he was like, "Why do you hate Mike Leach so much?" And I said, "I just, those athletes that like are good and they talk trash all the time and then they get beat and they cry like babies. That's what Mike Leach is for me." He's like, "I know, that's why I love him." And I was like, "Well, that's why I hate him. I can't stand him."
Hey, I don't know. He just annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
He just annoys me. Like, I think part of it is, Kentucky did go to Mississippi State and get their butts kicked last year.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe if you played that game 10 times, Kentucky would have won 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they were a better team.
He's got Will Rogers.
Will Rogers is back, and he's a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback. Didn't he put up like 600 passing yards against somebody last season?
But that's just a product of their system.
Yeah, but even so,
it's still impressive.
Right.
It's still impressive.
Anybody to be able to do that.
Like imagine Hendon Hooker in that system.
Yeah,
he would have threw for that much.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully Mississippi State goes 0-12,
and he's gone. If he goes 0-12, I don't think he makes it another season.
No, they get rid of him. I'm pretty sure.
I think so too. And their standards at Mississippi State are very, very low.
Yeah.
Like
Dan Mullen had success there.
He did. He had it made there.
And then he left for Florida. Now look at him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the conundrum. Like people say about Mark Stoops is like, oh, Mark Stoops is going to. Well, personally, I think Mark Stoops is trying to make his mark where he's at. Like, why go somewhere else when you can build this team to that level? They're already going to put a statue up of him.
Yeah.
And name the stadium after him, probably.
Sure. Stoops Stadium.
I'm fine with what he's done there. This year, he will finally beat Paul Bear Bryant's record at Kentucky as the winningest coach ever. And he's done he's done things there I never thought could be done. Because, Kentucky used to think of Kentucky like a Vanderbilt. Like, they're there. Every once in a while they're okay.
Yeah.
They'll go to a few bowl games here and there. But they've always been kind of that doormat of the SEC.
Yeah.
But now,
they're upper middle team.
Upper middle, and I used to dream of Kentucky being in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, it'd be nice just to be competitive. And now, every year you're excited to see Kentucky because it's going to be a good game. Yeah. You love seeing Kentucky play Florida because it's going to be a good game.
And you don't see Kentucky play anybody else because that Kentucky they'll put it out there.
Even at Georgia last year, Georgia won. It was like 30-13 maybe, something like that. I know Kentucky scored at the end of the game. It was the closest game Georgia had until they got beat by Alabama.
Yeah.
In the championship. And this year, according to the numbers, Kentucky's Georgia's toughest opponent.
We shall see.
We shall see. We still got to see where Tennessee's at.
Here's where we are on the timer there.
Okay. So.
Well, let's talk Kentucky drama.
Kentucky drama. I know everybody already knows. So, what happened? I want to tell what happened because I've been deep into this. Calipari was in the Bahamas. And let me go ahead and say, Kentucky basketball looks really, they're phenomenal. This is the best I've seen a Kentucky basketball team since the 2015. The team that went undefeated and lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin. So they're kicking ass. They look so good. Everybody's excited. Then Calipari calls in a little press conference in his hotel room and proceeds to say, we're a basketball school.
Yep.
Now, I think most people would agree. I agree. Kentucky historically is a basketball school. Historically, you can't argue that. Historically, they're probably the best program ever. UCLA has more championships. Kentucky has more wins, more appearances. Blah blah blah. You can do the numbers and argue it. They're one of the top 2 or 3 teams of all time in college basketball. You can't deny that. However, there's been kind of a shift lately. And here's the thing that I think, and I'm going to tell you, it pissed off Stoops.
Yeah.
He didn't stop there though. He could have stopped there and things probably would have been fine. But he continues to bring up Georgia, Alabama, and says they're football schools. We're a basketball school. I hope our team wins 10 games. It helps me. But at the end of the day, we're a basketball school. Now, the part I like is Mark Stoops barks right back at him. Publicly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like that about my coach. Some people will say that's crazy. I like it because he showed right there he's got his players back, and he's not going to put up. Because here's the problem he has. Used to when he first came there, it was you don't have the facilities, you don't have the talent, you're not going to win at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah blah. Well, they got new facilities. I mean, top line facilities. They got talent now. Kentucky's a winning program. You can go to Kentucky and win. But still, what's the one thing every other school in the SEC that Kentucky recruits against says?
Basketball school?
They're a basketball school. Do you really want to go play for a basketball school? So that's the biggest thing that Mark Stoops and his staff are competing against is the Tennessees of the world going, do you really want to go play for a basketball school or a football? Even though your basketball team's been way better than your football team lately. So it really pissed off the football staff.
So here's what I think.
All right, let's see what you think.
In my young man opinion, Kentucky is not a basketball school. And let me tell you why. Because ever since I really started to pay attention to coaches and players and records, as like when you and I became friends a decade ago, and I started to pay attention to Kentucky football and what you all have going on. Because like I said in the last episode or the episode before, if I don't pay attention to what Kentucky's doing, I get a text message. Did you see Kentucky do this? And I'm like, no, because this is Knoxville, Tennessee, and I don't care what Kentucky's doing. But I get a text message.
Yep.
So ever since I started
sure
caring 10 years ago, Mark Stoops is the coach at Kentucky.
And he still is.
And he still is.
Which is
and
crazy.
Every year you all have been better and better and better and better and better. And over those 10 years, Kentucky basketball was really, really good. And I was like, oh,
national
Kentucky's
champions the year we met.
Yeah, Kentucky's a basketball school. But over the years, it has come back down. And Tennessee basketball has been on the rise. And now Tennessee basketball is beating Kentucky basketball. And so I no longer even care about Kentucky basketball.
And a lot of people feel the same way.
And what's the deal with the early exits? Like, I get it. You know, Tennessee loses to Michigan in the
but
NCAA tournament. St. Peter's.
That one hurt. Now, I will say, I think this basketball team this year is the best team I've seen in half a decade in Kentucky. What will they do? I don't know. They are loaded. He brought back Orlando Antigua. That was one of the big issues Kentucky had was they didn't have that rock star recruiter to help Calipari out. Calipari kind of lost his swag. You know, he was this real swaggy guy, cocky guy, talked this big game, and he kind of lost it.
He still talks.
Oh, he still talks.
Mitch Barnhart.
So Kentucky's athletic. I don't think the reason. Now, I say 5 years ago. So the response
Calipari's still in the
been,
box.
"Shut up,
He
Stoops.
hasn't come back.
Stay in your lane."
Him and Stoops
so.
haven't talked.
Stoops
Now,
publicly twice.
the support
he
he
got, even the athlete.
You know, he said-
"I'm going to say this. I don't remember exact quotes, but I stay in my lane. But when you talk about my players and the teams we compete against." That's when it becomes personal, you know, something to that degree.
Well, yeah, and he brings up the fact that they've won 4 bowl games in a row.
Yep.
And ultimately, Stoops had to do what he did.
He did. He had to.
If he does not take a stand, even against another Kentucky coach,
Yeah.
then Kentucky football starts to fall.
Uh-huh.
Because then the players are like, well,
Why do I want to come somewhere where the coach doesn't even have
yeah,
my back?
if you don't think you're a football school, then who's
Yeah.
supposed to? I'm not coming here.
And in my opinion, listening to a lot of the talk up there, it's actually helped the program, football program. Basketball program might be hurt.
Yeah.
But Barnhart, athletic director, came out in support of Stoops on the situation and actually said, didn't directly say to Calipari, but said that coaches can be replaced.
Yes, I saw that.
I don't know that he should have said that, but here's the problem with the whole NIL stuff. Yep. Okay, so Kentucky had some issues with that.
Yeah,
that's all Mitch Barnhart. That's all him and he's a real religious person. Mm-hmm. So, like, he pushes a lot of his beliefs into the program. Like, he won't serve alcohol at Neyland. Commonwealth.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Y'all serve alcohol, right?
Yes.
So, that was the big blame for the trash on the field, and I'm like, that wouldn't have mattered.
No.
That's just the rowdy Tennessee fans.
Stop letting Lane Kiffin in here. That stuff like that won't happen.
Yeah, we can blame Lane Kiffin.
There
Why
was no
not?
alcohol in that mustard bottle.
You know what, though? I got to say, him bringing the mustard bottle to the SEC Media Days was pretty funny. He trolls the shit out of you all.
Did you hear Josh Heupel say, well, I wish I had a golf ball that night, if you know what I'm saying?
See, I think Heupel and Lane get along. I think a lot of the coaches do.
Yeah, I don't.
And they like to talk shit.
Yeah.
They just do. Now, did you hear what Stoops said about Shane Beamer?
No.
So, you know how Shane Beamer, like, put on the sunglasses and done the twerking and all that crap?
No, yeah. I mean, I heard something about it, and he's...
So Stoops has a press conference, and he goes, changing the climate's easy. He says, anybody can put on a stupid pair of sunglasses and dance around like an idiot. He said, but changing the culture is something different.
Well,
that's what we've done here in Kentucky.
That's excellent.
I love that. I just loved how he just come out.
I love shots. So you say you've heard that it has helped your football program. Let me debate that just a little bit with you. I think anybody could come coach basketball at Kentucky and find success. Would you agree with that?
I would agree that more people could. I think it's harder for the average coach because of the pressure in the spotlight.
I don't think you would find an average coach because it's Kentucky. It would be like if Alabama tomorrow
needed a football coach. Everybody's going to apply for it in the country.
Right. That job could pull anybody it wants.
And I'm going to agree with what you're about to say.
So I think you could replace Calipari with anybody you wanted to and have that success. I don't think you could find the same success for football. But how long until Mark Stoops says, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. Is that a fear in your mind because of how all of that was handled? And not that, I mean, Stoops had to do what he did, and it sounds like Barnhart backed Stoops, and I think that's great. But are you worried at all that Stoops says, I'm not dealing with this. I have bled blue into this program. I've completely turned it around. This is not the same Kentucky program it was when I got here.
Yeah.
It is 100-fold what it was. And I just get disrespected by a coach that gets beat by St. Peter's.
Yeah.
And it's just...
I would worry more about it if it wasn't for the response of the fan base.
Sure.
I think the overwhelming response of the fan base.
I saw that. I mean, players
the way his players. Yeah, I love what Max Duffy said. You know who Max Duffy is?
I don't.
He's like our last All-American. He was our punter. He's really good. He's from Australia, and he tweeted something to the effect of, "Oh, I don't recall the football team ever losing to St. Peter's."
A lot of people are saying.
And a lot of people, and Calipari. His problem is he don't know when to shut up.
No,
he's like, I ain't gonna say this because I don't want politics, but he's like certain politicians that don't know when to shut their mouth.
Yeah,
he just keeps talking and talking, and he talks with this like we're the gold standard. No, you went 9-16 2 years ago, and you lost in the first round of the tournament at St. Peter's last year. You need to back up a little bit and build your program back up.
You're not the same Kentucky team that you were when you could say things like that.
You come out and win a national title this year, you can talk a little bit.
A little.
But
you still have to respect Stoops.
You can't not respect Stoops.
You have to respect everybody on that program staff
that has built that football program to something no one ever could imagine it could be.
No, there's no reason for the way.
I do. I think it's in the back of every Kentucky fan's mind of like, what if Stoops does leave? I think a lot of people believe because he played at Iowa that Iowa is a team that he might go. Florida State's another team because he coached at Florida State the year they won. He was their defensive coordinator the year they won the national title.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could go either way. It's just. He does have a lot of support there. Like I'm talking, like
he's got it made.
He's got it made. He did say recently, him and Calipari chatted about it, worked it out in like 5 minutes, and they're good.
I
don't buy it.
That's Barnhart.
I think. Well, no, Stoops said that.
Yeah, I know, but that's Barnhart saying, "Look,
y'all got to.
You two straighten up."
So what I think is, I think they'll move on, but Stoops won't forget it.
Yeah,
Stoops is not going to forget it.
Nor should he.
And Calipari won't forget what Barnhart said.
He'll still be the squeakiest wheel.
Yep. I like Calipari, but I don't know. Sometimes you just like, what are you doing? You know. But right now, I'm just enjoying this ride, watching this football team do things I never thought they would do.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this season. I'm still holding strong to 11-1. I'm sticking with it. What was your prediction with Tennessee? 9-3? 10-2.
10-2.
It's a good prediction. It could happen, man.
I mean, I would love to see it. A lot of it depends on, and I thought about this the whole time, like for the past couple of weeks that we haven't been able to get together. But all of my predictions are based upon the way that I know programs to be. And there's a lot of things we don't know about certain programs in the SEC.
That's true.
So when I predict Tennessee to beat Kentucky, it's legitimately because Tennessee beats Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
Regardless of what Kentucky looks like, and regardless of what Tennessee looks like, Tennessee beats Kentucky. I'm more optimistic about Tennessee versus Florida this year because I feel like Florida is like as low as they've ever been, and Tennessee, at the end of the day, to beat Tennessee, right, you have to outscore Tennessee, and it doesn't matter who you are. That's a task.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. That is a task.
It's a task. We are going to put up points no matter what, and I don't see some of these teams like Florida and like South Carolina, unfortunately for them, I don't see them being able to outscore Tennessee based on what I saw in the Tennessee offense last year. And you're bringing back, several of your major pieces.
Offensively, Tennessee, all the boxes are pretty much checked.
Yeah. Defense is a huge question.
Yeah, that's a big question mark with Tennessee is, they're going to score 40 points on everybody, but are they going to give up 50 on some of these teams that can score 50?
Yeah.
There's some question marks with Kentucky. I mean, we lost our all-time leading receiver, Wandale Robinson.
Yep.
He played one season, broke all the records, and goes to the NFL. Now, we're starting 2 true freshmen at wide receiver.
Yeah.
But the talks is they're good.
Yeah.
Dane Key and Berrien Brown. Tavion Robinson transferred from Virginia Tech, who's a pretty proven receiver. You look at his highlight film. He's got some good highlights. He's no Wandale.
Yeah.
But the consensus is those freshmen earned that spot because, you had Ray Lewis's son, who's a wide receiver at Kentucky. He's probably going to get a lot of catches this year. But I'm excited about Dane Key and Berrien Brown. The talk is they are the real deal. They're going to make a huge impact. About Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah. How long is he suspended?
I don't think they've announced it yet. At least one game.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to miss the Florida game.
Who do you all have behind him at running back?
We got Cavassier Smoke. We got
Spoke. You'll be fine.
We got this Jefferson kid who transferred in from another college. We're loaded. Our running back room's loaded.
Yeah.
We got like 5 deep good running backs that can come in and play in the SEC.
I wish we were in that position.
And tight ends, Rich, our new offensive coordinator from San Francisco, came out and said there's 3, possibly 4 guys that can play on Sunday in the tight end room.
Okay.
Because we had 3 hurt last year. Our top 3 tight ends are all out the whole year. So we got – there's some talent, and they're going to use the tight ends. The biggest question marks is wide receiver and, unfortunately, the offensive line, the left side of the offensive line.
Yeah, you all lost a lot there. That's what we've been hearing the whole offseason because whether we want to admit it or not, we are nervous about the Kentucky game.
Well, Kentucky's nervous about the Tennessee game because they always lose to Tennessee.
And we're nervous because you all continue to get better. And last year was very, very close. That was a game that you and I were having to text each other off the ledge last season.
No, because it was so emotional. At the end, it was back and forth. I thought Kentucky's going to win. Tennessee's defense found something.
The only thing we agreed on the whole game was that commentator was terrible.
Oh, God, I hated the commentator. I'm sorry.
But
nothing personal.
We are nervous, but that's the thing we've been hearing is like they lost their offensive line.
Now, they 3, center over, strong.
Yeah.
Like good guy. Now, Jagger Burton's a left guard. He was a 5-star recruit. I mean, maybe 4-star, but he's going to plug and play. He's going to be a good lineman. Left tackle's probably our biggest concern, which is one of the biggest. Yeah. So they got a guy in there they feel good about. I've heard good things coming from up there, but they're always going to talk good about him. They're not going to give away weaknesses, but that is a potential weakness.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about this for weeks. We lost a running back to you all in D. Beckwith.
D. Beckwith.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard that name.
Okay. Well, never mind then. That's what I wanted to know.
A running back, D. Beckwith.
He's like 6'5" and 250 pounds, like he's a tank. But he left Tennessee when Jeremy Pruitt was fired. Or I guess just over the offseason. Mm-hmm. And transferred to Kentucky. And I was just curious.
I haven't heard that name being brought up.
If you'd heard anything about him, if there was any excitement, because he's a bowling ball.
Yeah.
An enormous bowling ball.
Yeah, 6'5". That's a big dude, man.
He's like that big ball on a chain thing in Mario. That's what I imagine he would be. Yeah, chomp chomp. That's what I imagine he would be if he ever got the chance, but he never really got the chance with Tennessee. And I was just curious if you all were excited about him, because he's somebody that I was excited about, and I would like to hear that he is doing well.
I don't know. I'll do some research and see if I can find anything.
If you hear anything, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
I just know our running back rooms are deepest.
Yeah.
Rodriguez is like irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Like he's just the leading rusher in the SEC last year. And think about that. That's the SEC. Alabama, Georgia.
Sure.
You outrushed both of those teams, and that's pretty impressive. And he's really good. Since Benny Snell, he's basically a copy of Benny Snell.
Yeah, you all have like that one dominant running back every single season.
And that used to not be that way with Kentucky.
No,
Tennessee used to be a Tennessee thing.
It used to be a Tennessee thing.
And which I love it being a Kentucky thing. But no, I'm excited. We're anticipating next week. I'm really excited for our episode because we'll have a lot to talk about next week.
You all play on Saturday?
We play on Saturday, 7 o'clock. Miami of Ohio. I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah.
It's already sold out.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been sold out.
I'm wearing checkerboard overalls to work.
Heck yeah.
And we'll see if I get away with that. But I am so excited that I'm not even afraid to wear my stuff out and about. I just don't care. Josh Heupel has just breathed so much excitement into this program, and it offers so much promise. And it's funny how when Heupel was hired, we were like, oh gosh, Danny White just went and got whoever he could because nobody else wants this job with the NCAA stuff that was going on and all the Pruitt drama that had happened. And it turns out that Heupel is exactly what we needed him to be. Now, does that mean national champion coach ever? I don't know. I don't know that it means that ever. This year, no. SEC champions this year, no. I'm not going to spread any delusion. But he was exactly what a Tennessee fan base that has struggled with 15 to 20 years of just blah.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting. And even if we go out there and we lose a game, we still put up 45 points and you're frustrated about the defense, but you got a dadgum game.
Yeah.
You enjoyed that football game you just watched.
Yeah, that is the thing about Tennessee. They are fun to watch. Their offense is fun to watch. And we'll still see.
And it means you've got a chance in any game you play, because the way to win a game is to outscore the opponent, right?
At the end of the day, that's the goal.
Score more
points than the other team.
And Tennessee's got the capability to do that week in and week out.
You never know, man. The way they play, you look at that Kentucky game last year. It was so frustrating because they kept catching people in the secondary sleeping, and that's where Kentucky struggled last year. Secondary was a struggle.
They tell me about it. That whole defense for Tennessee was a struggle.
And y'all burned Kentucky. Like the first 3 plays you had was for like 70-plus yard touchdowns, and it's like, geez, stop it. Call a timeout, something.
I don't think I was ever going to tell you this, but I looked at my wife after that happened, and I was like, I feel bad for John. He's got to sit here and watch this.
I'm used to it, man.
It ended up being a lot closer than I thought, but...
Well, I thought at first I'm like, God, they're going to blow out Kentucky.
Yeah.
In Lexington, like, I just drilled a little. Sorry. They're going to blow out Kentucky and Lexington at home.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming off a year where Kentucky won, 34-7 in Knoxville?
I don't even remember.
You don't? Of course you don't. You're a Tennessee fan.
Well, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we talked about that before. Like, as a Tennessee fan, you have to be able to forget week to week what just happened to you.
Well, trust me, I grew up with that. You know,
Yeah.
being a Kentucky. You know, you knew, like, I would watch the Tennessee and Florida games back when I was a kid, and you'd be excited if the first quarter ended and, Tennessee was only up 7-0.
Yeah.
You're like, well, Kentucky played pretty hard that first quarter.
Yeah.
Then they go halftime, it's 35-0. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it's over now.
Yeah.
Ain't no chance. So, but no, I'm excited for the season. I'm stoked. I can't wait for next week's show. I mean, hopefully Sean will get his shit together and get
Freaking
this
Sean,
stream going.
Why do we pay him?
I don't know, because he does nothing. He literally, like, he's supposed to have his set up.
He's the worst.
We come in here and literally, like, the computer hadn't been turned on in a week.
Yeah.
And-
Slow as ever.
And it's slow as ever. Like, we need to upgrade equipment. I mean, everything. And I got a new camera. I got new cables, and Sean didn't even set it up.
Let me say this publicly, though, because I've been thinking about this the past couple of weeks.
What's that?
Despite what Sean screws up every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for being the worst co-host in all of America, because I watch you come in here and you're frantically, like, trying to get everything right, get everything set up, and I'm just, like, on my phone, yeah, man, I don't know.
No, you're fine.
I'm the worst.
No, you're not the worst. You just so guys, listen. This is something. This show was something I came up with. I messaged you close to a year ago.
Yeah, you said let's go to IHOP and talk about something. And then we did, and then we talked about it a little bit more during the bowl games.
Yep. Last year during football season, we talked about this. I've been thinking about this for about a year before that, as an idea. I'm like, you don't see a show that incorporates two fan bases. What better two fan bases to incorporate? Because they're both passionate. There's a lot. I mean, I can't wait till this channel starts to grow, and we start seeing some of the back and forth, because it's going to be good.
Yeah.
There's going to be some shit talking, man.
You know what would be really fun? And we're talking like way down in the future, but an SEC roundtable. If we could amass enough staff to have a fan representative
of each
school,
team.
like maybe we get Carolina Jackpot in here, and if we can keep from throwing things at him the whole time, then like that would be fun, right?
God, could you get anybody to shut up though?
Probably not. The Vandy fan may be quiet the whole time, but
The Vandy fan's just over there like, calculus.
Clark Lee says that we're gonna be like the best in the nation soon.
Like, shut up, Vandy.
Yeah, Vandy, go get snacks.
And then half of them goes, Kentucky, they're going to suck next year.
What about Vandy and Hawaii, though? We've got 10 more minutes before we've got to do whatever with the camera. What about Vandy and Hawaii?
It was a lot. Vandy scored way more points than I thought they would.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to lose. I thought they were going to go lose to Hawaii. I ain't going to lie.
More points than I thought Vandy was capable of. But Hawaii is absolutely terrible.
But why? It's Hawaii. Who doesn't want to go? I get it. The road trips, it's way off in the middle of nowhere.
Well, so it is way off in the middle of nowhere, but you wouldn't even have to pay me to go to school at Hawaii.
No.
But I don't know anything about Hawaii football. I feel like there was a time when they were decent, though, right? Like within the last 20 years or something, Hawaii had like an okay program for what they were.
I'm pretty sure they were competitive at one point.
It seemed like exciting at one point for them, but whoever their coach was before this coach now left the whole program in shambles. I don't know any details of that. I just know what they said on the radio. Like, Hawaii's in bad shape and are working their way back to being okay. And so that's what I heard. That's all I can say is what I hear, because I have no idea. I didn't even know they were the Hawaii Rainbows until the other day.
I didn't know they were the Rainbow. I thought they were the Warriors or whatever.
They said Rainbows on the radio. Maybe they were making a joke. I have no idea. I heard Rainbows.
Huh.
And I thought, well, that's why you're a bad football program, because you go by Rainbows. Not that there's anything wrong with Rainbows per se,
Yeah, they're the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Rainbow Warriors.
The Rainbow Warriors, and I'm sure that's like a tribal Polynesian thing.
I'm sure it is. Sure it is.
63-10 to Vanderbilt. They play Western Kentucky next week.
And that will probably be another beatdown.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion...
Oh, they play number 8 Michigan the week after that.
Please beat Michigan. God. Listen, I will wear a shirt that says, I love Rainbow Warriors if you all will beat Michigan.
They played DeQuince.
They played somebody the other day, and I thought about
that.
Who what was is it? That word? Some CUSA school, I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to go to them and see who they play. Florida State. That's what
Florida State beat them.
47-7, yeah.
What, you think Mike Norvell's out at Florida State this season?
It's an ACC, man. He can go 11-1 in the ACC. You know what I mean?
But he's been terrible up to this point.
I know, but I think if he has a good season, like if they win 10 games, I think he's probably back. You know what I mean?
It'd be hard to fire anybody over.
It'd be hard to fire anybody. Well, I mean, Georgia fired Mark Richt over a 10-win season. 9-win season,
but, yeah. And you're right, but it would be hard.
That was a little bit different. Like you have to know a little more details about the Mark Richt situation.
I was young when that was going on. I was like, that's stupid because we're bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it worked out for them.
It did.
They got Kirby Smart, and now look, defending national champions. I think Georgia's not going to be as good as people think. Listen to Kirby Smart talk. He goes, "Listen, we lost 16 players in the NFL."
Well, yeah, but he kind of needs to, right?
You kind of have to, yeah.
If he says, "Look, we lost those players, but we didn't lose anything," that's awful. That's awful.
That's what
ballsy.
Saban does.
Well,
that's Nick Saban. That's probably the greatest coach ever.
Saban gets on the radio or a press conference a few weeks ago and says last year was a rebuilding.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, that's ridiculous. But Georgia may not be as good on defense as they were last year, but I think they're still going to be number 2 in the SEC, and I don't think it'll even be close.
Probably not. I have hope that Kentucky will beat them, but that was my one loss. I picked Kentucky to win 11 games in the regular season and lose to Georgia.
Yeah. And
make the playoff because Georgia's going to get beat by Alabama really handily, and I think somebody else is going to beat Georgia. I think somebody like Tennessee is going to beat Georgia.
Yeah, if not Tennessee, I don't know who else I would pick to do it. And
Kentucky.
That's not just
Kentucky or Tennessee's the only two I think that can do it.
Sure. You are going to have to be somebody that puts up a lot of points.
Yeah.
And if you can get to Stinson
or
Bennett,
play some damn good defense.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're going to outplay. You're going to just have to put up more points than Georgia.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett may not be a world beater of a QB. He's manageable. He's kind of like what we, as Tennessee fans, hoped Jarrett Garantano would have been. Just like manage the game and don't do anything dumb. Save the day when you need to, but just manage it and don't do anything dumb. And every time we turned around, he was doing something stupid. He was picking his nose and throwing balls to the other team, and it was just ridiculous.
He threw a touchdown for the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals.
I saw that. Good for him.
Hopefully he does well.
JG, if you're a better pro quarterback than you were a college quarterback, good for you. I'm happy for it because I rooted for him. I really did. I was on the JG train.
I think everybody wanted him to do good.
He needed to.
Everybody I heard was frustrated with it. It wasn't that they hated him. It was just frustration with Garantano.
So Stetson Bennett is like the very best JG could have been when he was here and just wasn't. Mm-hmm. But he has so many weapons on that Georgia offense that you are literally just going to have to be able to outscore them. And that's why, if I'm going to give anybody a chance to do it, it's going to be the team that scores the most points in the SEC, and that's Tennessee.
That's if people don't figure that offense out this year.
Listen, you can say figure it out all you want, and that's fine. That's fair. You can figure out an offense. But it took Alabama 3 quarters to figure out what they were going to do. And it's only going to get more and more complex the longer that these guys are here, the better these players get, the faster they get. They say, and I know, we're in preseason hype still.
Yeah.
They say this Tennessee team looks like the most in-shape team they've ever seen, that they are faster than they were last year. And they were already the fastest team in the nation last year. So, excitement through the roof.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you hear stuff like that, it gets you jazzed.
Tennessee is going to score points on anybody they play. If you're going to give that opportunity to beat Georgia to anybody, I have to pick Tennessee because they score the most points.
Fair enough. You heard it from the source. He picked Tennessee to beat Georgia.
I'm
He
Zach
picks Tennessee
Ray.
as the best chance to beat Georgia.
And that's I think if you're gonna say, who do you think it is? Well, it's the team that scores the most points. It's got to be Tennessee. Didn't Tennessee score the most points on Georgia last year until they lost to Alabama?
I don't know. Let's look and see.
That was a thing though. Like it was like
Yeah.
nobody had put up more than 7 or 14 or something, and Tennessee ended up with 21, something like that. I don't know why I don't use my smartphone to look up stuff before I open my big fat mouth, but that.
Hey, well, that's one thing I love about doing this is like there's a wonder, like what we like to wonder and try to figure things out. It's not going to show me the Georgia score.
Yeah, you're going to have to specifically look it up.
It was 41-17.
And I think that was the most points
Yeah.
on Georgia or second most maybe, until they played Alabama and lost to them.
And I think Kentucky scored 13. It was 30-13.
Yeah.
So it was a closer margin between Kentucky
Sure.
and Georgia.
Because Kentucky clearly had a better defense.
Yeah, secondary struggled. The defense is going to be better this year. That's the thing. People don't realize Kentucky returned everybody and added better cornerbacks in secondary. So their defense, man.
Yeah, we lost some key pieces too, like Alontae Taylor and Matthew Butler and Trayvon Flowers. Is that right?
We got DeAndre Square back, J.J. Weaver back.
We got everybody else back. I mean, everybody else is
So
ready
you
to
should be
roll.
improved on
And
defense.
Jawan Mitchell, the transfer from Texas, who was injured all of last season, they say he's the healthiest he's ever been since he's been here. He's gonna be in there at linebacker. I mean, it sets up for Tennessee to make a massive stride if Tennessee's defense is just okay.
That'd be awesome.
If you can score
for you.
more points than anybody and have an okay defense enough to get off the field when it's 3rd and 17, like we were so many times last year, then you set yourself up to score 14 more points a game, 21 more points a game. That Ole Miss game, I mean, Matt Corral, 3rd and 21, just running. That shouldn't happen if you have an okay defense.
Yeah. And
You win
Kentucky
those like
converting
that.
a 4th and 20-something. Even though they didn't score and win like they should have. But anyways, if and those are candy and butts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Whatever he said.
Well, guys, I think it's going to wrap it up for today. I'm excited to do next week's show. I'm excited for the games. We might post something later this week. Who knows?
Like an ad for hiring a new producer.
Possibly. If you work for peanuts or free, then let us know. We could use a good producer. We'll give you beer.
Yeah.
Hey, this is so strong, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's strong. It
is.
made me drool on myself a while ago.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Voodoo Ranger.
Who did not sponsor this video.
Did not sponsor this video, but we shout out there, have a very strong beer. But guys, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week. This has been Border Rivals.
Take it easy.
Peace.